Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, let me thank Dr. Williams and the Academy for inviting me here to speak. I also want to thank these students that will be graduating here tonight, because if it wasn't for their hard work, we wouldn't be here. The students have truly proved to their families and to their friends that they have what it takes to take on a challenge and succeed. When I began to write this speech, I thought about a number of different important topics. And after a considerable amount of time spent pondering about these topics, I decided to address three important areas: the past, the present, and the future. So let me get started with the past. When I think about the many jobs that I've had in my life, and I compare them to my current position, I get overwhelmed with joy. You see, there's nothing more than satisfying than being paid to do for what you enjoy doing and being admired by family, friends, and your colleagues. I started working at the age of 12. I sold newspapers, I mowed lawns, and I even worked at a gas station. That's right, at 12 years old, I was working at a gas station, and that would not happen in today's society. You have to be at least 18 years old. The world has definitely changed. But that's not the first and only time the world has changed, and it won't be the last. Let me talk about some more significant changes that have occurred here in America and around the world. Approximately 10,000 years ago, human beings spent the majority of their time hunting and gathering food. They were called hunters and gatherers because that's exactly what they did. They hunted and gathered food. That type of lifestyle was eventually replaced by what we call the Neolithic Revolution, better known as the Agricultural Revolution. Now, some of you might say, what is agriculture? Agriculture is the cultivation of plants, animals, and life forms for food and fiber, and other projects used to sustain life. That transition from hunters and gatherers happened on a global scale, and it significantly changed how people lived. No longer did individuals have to hunt and gather food, and that meant they had more times in their hand to do other things. In about the 17th or 18th century, another significant change happened. The agricultural society was replaced by the Industrial Revolution, and that change had a profound effect on every aspect of life. Mining, manufacturing, technology, agriculture were all radically changed. The most notable change was how it affected the social economic status of individuals and the cultural consequences that it had. Individuals on a massive scale saw their average income and population grow. During that transition, the majority of the population in America successfully found employment. After the Industrial Revolution, two other transitions occurred: the Manufacturing Revolution and the Service Sector Revolution. During the Manufacturing Revolution, tools and machines and labor was used to produce goods sold around the world. In 1965, manufacturing jobs accounted for 53% of the American economy. Today, it accounts for just 9%. That means that 83% of the manufacturing jobs once available in America have now been exported to countries like China, Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia, and Mexico. Now, the alarming fact is very alarming because the majority of these manufacturing jobs that have now been exported, they were once held by individuals like yourself, some who had dropped out of school and some who just completed high school and got their diploma. The most significant change that took place after the Manufacturing Revolution was the ability to provide a family on one salary. This means that even though the majority of the population still made the transition, after-tax disposable funds were radically reduced and formed to a point where a family was compelled to have two salaries instead of one. In the service sector, which is still occurring today, individuals provide service in retail, landscaping, transportation, distribution. What I find both disturbing and significant about the service sector revolution is a large part of our population has now been displaced by ATM machines, self-serve checkout stands, self-serve gas stations, and a demand higher for education. As individuals in our communities across America struggle to cope with the current economic situation, another revolution is simultaneously taking place. I call this the boutique knowledge revolution. And I'm not sure that the majority of our population will successfully make this transition. Let me tell you why. Boutique knowledge refers to intellectual properties. In short, it means that you own and you are able to sell what you have created. It requires a higher level of thinking and education, and it usually is related to the development of computer software, musical, literary, and artistic work, discoveries, and inventions. A large portion of our population today will not successfully make this transition unless we as a nation change how we view education, individuals, and their worth. When I grew up, a high school diploma was all you needed. Matter of fact, it wasn't even required. All you had to do was be willing to work. Today, that's not enough. When I think about these students that we are here to acknowledge for their hard work and their determination to graduate, I am compelled to remind myself that this is their night, and they have the rest of their life to hear about not becoming complacent and resting on their laurels. So, let me do both. Acknowledge them and give them a word of caution. And I'm talking to you graduates. To you students that will graduate tonight, this is your night, and I want to congratulate you for your hard work. You have demonstrated your ability to start and complete a challenging task. I know it hasn't been easy at times, and somebody probably told you that you weren't going to make it. You have proved them all wrong. You have successfully completed the first hurdle of life, and you are definitely on the right track to success. Now let me give you a word of caution. Do not rest on what you have accomplished, because life's transitions are inevitable. There is no room for complacency in a boutique revolution. Enjoy life, but I want you to be serious in your actions. Congratulations.